Hey folks, Scott, son of a hillbilly here with one of his campfire stories. Here along my nice fireplace, not quite a campfire, but it's close enough for me. Just want to tell you a little story about safety in the field. Many years ago, when my dad was still alive, we were out fishing on the Illinois River in our large wooden john boat. It was myself, my father, and my brother Ron. Well, we're all out there fishing and having a great time. Nothing better than take your two boys out fishing, getting that fresh air, and I absolutely love fishing. It is just one of my passions. Well, it's starting to get in the evening, and we've been catching catfish here and there, doing a good job. And it's, just on that edge where it's starting to get a little dark, and we don't want to leave. And my dad had his little Coleman lantern in there. He reached to pick it up. He realized it wasn't full. So he had himself a gallon of Coleman fuel with him at the same time. Well, as it's getting dark and he didn't have a funnel, he's trying to pour that Coleman fuel into that lantern. Safety tip: fill your lanterns first before you go out on a boat. Even better, if you're going on a boat, take one of those battery powered ones. They don't last as long, but you don't have as much of an issue with fuel. You could even take with the little propane tanks. Bring out some type of light that's going to last you for quite a few hours. So my dad's sitting there pouring this Coleman fuel into his lantern. He gets it all topped up, and he spilled Coleman fuel on the outside of the lantern. He spilled it on himself. It's on his pants, the whole 9 yards. Well, my brother and I, we're still fishing and kind of half paying attention to Dad. I'm in the middle. My brother Ron's on the very end of the boat, and Dad's, of course, operating at the back, the motor, the whole 9 yards. He's the chief cook and bottle washer of the group. He gets in there with those little Coleman lanterns with the Coleman fuel, have a little flint that's supposed to make a spark that will light it. He pumps it up, he gets it ready, and he starts to hit that flint. Nothing. It won't spark. That's because he soaked it with Coleman fuel. Why not? It's wet. It's not going to do anything. He'd have to let it dry for quite a while. It's starting to get real dark. So my dad, being the Boy Scout he is, he reached in his pocket, pulled out a lighter. Not thinking about it, he lit that lighter and he had that lantern, he turned it on, and it went poof, because they usually do a little poof thing. Well, this thing really went poof, and the flame shot up all over the outside of the lantern. They jumped from the lantern, jumped onto him. He's standing there with a lantern that's looking like something from Ghost Rider's head burning off of it, and he's got flames shooting of him. He's starting to look like Johnny Storm from off of the Fantastic Four, the Human Torch. And he stands there for just a split second. The next thing I know is I see him jump over the edge of the john boat. He's going over and he's got one hand free, and I can see that lantern trailing in the air as he hits the water. He goes under the water, comes back out, everything's put out. He climbs back into the boat and he's sitting there just, what an event. Then all of a sudden, probably 20 seconds later, my brother was in shock, obviously, in the back of the boat. He reaches down, he grabs a minnow bucket. He throws that minnow bucket at my dad, the water, just like you're throwing a bucket of water at him. And all the minnows, we also had crawdads in there, splashed to hit my dad. We had minnows all over the boat, crawdads crawling all over Dad. Dad's double soaked from the river, and from my brother Ron hitting him with the bucket of water. That's one memorable occasion I'll never forget. And remember, it taught me a very valuable safety thing. Don't fill up your fuel in the lanterns while you're in the boat. Do it when you have plenty of light. Get all your equipment prepared before you actually get out on the boat. Making quick repairs like tying fishing lures on or switching out line or something like that when you're in a boat, that's just fine. But when you're talking about things that are flammable, he had a whole thing of gasoline to run the outboard motor in the boat with him. If he had burned more, and it's a wooden john boat too, if the flames that jumped from that had jumped to the Coleman fuel, blew it up, it would have went off like a bomb in that boat. And in a wooden john boat, it wouldn't have survived. We wouldn't have survived it. So it was a good thing my dad was fast thinking in the sense of jumping into the water with that lantern. But it would have been a lot better if he did all the prep in advance. Just a quick safety tip and a fun story from Scott, son of a hillbilly. Till next time, folks, I'll talk to you later. Happy trails.